What up, everybody? It's your main man, Spice Adams, and welcome to another edition of Off the Grid. This time I go to LA and I get a chance to have a conversation with my brother from another mother, talking about the multi-talented Mr. Affion Crockett.
I freestyle a little bit. Freestyle on the profile in the meanwhile. My style is wild. You know, that's just fresh off the dome. It's nothing written.
No. I get it. Yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah. Did you rap? You have albums?
Yeah.
Right? What made you want to rap? I mean, because seriously, like, let's keep it real. Like, you're talented in a lot of things.
Right.
Like
Thanks,
dancing, rapping, stand-up comedian, actor, like everything.
Yeah, no. Everything I do comes from hip hop. So I really have hip hop to thank for the inspiration for us and, you know, who we were as kids. Mm-hmm. I think our parents had the Jacksons and the Silvers and all them groups back in the day, Earth, Wind and Fire and all of them. We had hip hop, so it was such a new novelty that, you know, it was like superheroes out the ghetto.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, you had Run DMC with the first hip hop rock stars, Grandmaster Melly Mel, even though I never wanted to dress like them.
So would it be safe to say you're a historian of hip hop?
I wouldn't say I'm a historian. I just lived it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not somebody who's like ultra studious and I go back and research and put dots together. That's like Questlove is like that.
Right.
He's a big music nerd, historian. Like, he just loves every single detail in all genres. That's just, you know, much props to him. For me, I just go off of what I know because I lived it. Like, I literally was there. I saw most of this stuff go down and unfold. So yeah.
Oh, so it's just like it's in you. Like, it's in your blood. Like, I got you.
1,000%. Like, me and hip hop are a day apart. So birthdays literally are a day apart.
Speaking of that, what was it like to go to the birthplace of hip hop, dog? Like, that's a lot of people can't say they did that.
Nah, and for me it was like,
and you was on the mic.
Look, KRS-One, shout out to the Blast Master KRS-One. He looks at me mid-show and holds up the microphone like,
yeah, like, go ahead.
Like, you
that's crazy.
Yo, it's crazy. But when I thought about turning 50 and how scary that could be for black people, and, you know, a lot of us have never seen 50, so we don't know how to react to that.
Yeah.
But the fact that me and hip hop turned 50 a day apart, it was symbolic. It became symbolic to me. So I was like, okay, how do I want to celebrate this moment in life? Do I want to do like most people do, where they'll have a whole black tie, Great Gatsby themed type of party? But that ain't really me. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, on my actual birthday was when KRS did the block party right there on Sedgwick Avenue. So for me, that was like, oh, okay, I'll do my party stuff in LA, but I'm gonna fly to New York on my birthday.
Yeah.
To the Bronx and be out there with the originators, with Grandmaster Caz, Cold Crush Brothers. Like, it was crazy. KRS-One.
I think you had FaceTime me that day.
I think I did.
Yeah, because I couldn't make the party
E-Love,
in LA.
LL's dude was like, there's so many different people. Poor Righteous Teachers, Wise Intelligent. Like, I'm running into so many. Just Red Alert was
like
there.
We
it was
grew
crazy.
Up listening to
people. Yeah, our superheroes.
Dang, dog, that's dope, bro. And
I was there with Charlie Mack of all people.
Right. Charlie Mack is everywhere.
He's hip hop historian because he literally
First
was there
out.
for sure.
Yes,
first out the limo. So crazy times.
Yeah, so like it's one thing to listen to it and live it, but you like really got out there on the cardboard boxes, spinning on your back. I'm sure, like, because how else do you become a b-boy? You know what I mean? So you like the ultimate. Like, how did you? Like, in North Carolina, right? Mm-hmm. That's where you grew up, like,
and Germany, because I'm an Army brat. So my dad was stationed in Germany. So we got a lot of hip hop in Germany. I saw Run DMC in Germany.
Wow.
Run DMC and Beastie Boys was my first concert, and that was in Germany.
So was Run DMC like the first tape you bought? with your own money, or like, you know what I mean? Like,
It's crazy. I don't remember the first tape. It might have been a Run DMC tape. I don't remember the first tape because we used to get mixtapes all the time, and everything was recorded.
Yeah,
So our cousins from New York would send us the mixtapes, the early Ron G's. Yeah. So all those mixtapes, Red Alert, the was it WBLS? It was a bunch of like radio stations that would have their mixes on the weekends or whatever. So they would send us these cassette tapes.
Yeah.
That was dubbed over. So I don't remember what I actually purchased first.
So how was Affion Crockett as a student? Like, did you like school? Was it just like a place for you to just like you had to go and you just had to like act like you liked it? Or
I definitely had to act like I liked it. Because being a military brat, you're a new student all the time. So school was actually very depressing for me.
So you had to keep moving.
I had
to
to, man, I went to
state?
14 different schools.
Really?
14. And not 14 different cities, but like when I would move to certain cities, we would have to stay either in temporary housing or like in some places where we may have had a relative. We'd have to stay with them until we qualified to get our own housing. Because military housing is free, but you have to qualify for it or get on a list. And if it's not available right away, you got to wait.
What you mean qualify?
Qualify meaning based on availability more so.
Okay.
Because there's so many families that might be moving at the same time and not enough families moving out, there may be a shortage of those available homes that are there for free.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you may have to pay for your own home. It basically is like a waiting list type of deal.
Okay.
Kind of like when you're waiting to get upgraded for a flight. But yeah, when we're waiting to get into that free housing, we have to stay in a whole nother district or zone. So we've had to rent apartments or rent homes off base in a lot of different cities that we moved to, and which means you temporarily go into a school for like 3-4 months or however long it takes to get on that
It's hard
list.
to make friends.
Dude. And then you end up making friends and then you got to leave again.
Yeah. By the time
So
you start
I have
getting to know them,
I have
people gotta leave.
abandonment issues and all that. So school, when I think of school was not a happy place for me. So I think that's where a lot of my imagination came from, because I had to escape to something that I could take with me everywhere.
Gotcha. So do you brothers and sisters? How many?
It was 4 of us.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like me, man. With the 4, man. 4 is a beast. 4 is a beast.
It was 4. Oh, you're 4.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you're an
yeah.
only child.
No, yeah, I'm only child, bro. But
You're an only child, but you have 4. Yeah, 4 is. Yeah, but at least it was for us. It was 2 boys, 2 girls.
How did you end up getting into comedy?
Ooh, comedy came into the picture later. That was Def Comedy Jam. That
was your first time, like, performing. Really?
First time performing comedy. Yeah. Not on the Def Jam show.
Okay.
But the era of Def Comedy Jam is what inspired me to be a comedian.
Okay.
Because that's where
but then you were on it.
Yeah, I was. That's what I'm saying. So,
but I mean, you watched it first
while it was
and then you
happening.
were on
Yeah,
it.
I watched it from day one.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get on until season 5, I think.
So who was the host at that time? Was it
At
Joe
the
Torre?
time, I got on the All-Star season. So Martin Lawrence did, I think, the first 2 or 3 seasons. I think 3.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Right? And then Joe Torre took over.
Yeah.
No, Martin did the first 2. Then Joe Torre. Then it was Joe Torre, Ricky Harris, and Adele Givens alternating, season 4. Season 5 was All-Stars. So everybody hosted one show. Chris Rock,
It was
Steve
like Sid
Harvey,
Entertainer,
Dave
right?
Chappelle,
Yeah,
Cedric Entertainer. On my show, Queen Latifah hosted my show,
Okay.
the live show. But so many people did bad on that show that show didn't air. So they edited me onto Jamie Foxx's show
Okay.
when he was hosting. So it was a weird play, but it all cut together well. But yeah, I ended up on Jamie Foxx's show on TV.
Dope. So how do you say, all right, I'm going to go up and perform my act, but after I'm going to also go be dancing too?
Bob Sumner.
He knew that, or you
Bob,
just
everybody
you just
knew that I was a
bum rushed
dancer.
it? Okay.
No, he knew, and Bob was instrumental in trying to help me brand myself across the board. So he even gave me a Fat Farm hoodie and like the gear, everything was Fat Farm at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, "Yo, rock this hoodie and come out at the end, and after you do your set, after you kill it, come out at the end and dance with the dancers too, because I want them to know that you actually like, you're well rounded."
I thought that was weird too, because I was like, hold on, ain't that when he like performing and he dancing too? So
Yeah.
that's the first time I saw you,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you had dreads at that time. So I was like, all right, this dude is funny, but he also can dance too. Like I never really thought anything about it because I was a lot younger. But then as you fast forward time, I remember seeing you on your show. And then you doing something with like Chris Brown and stuff like that. And I was
we
like,
did the Michael
"Dawg."
battle.
And then like when I really started following you is when you did the David Blaine cousin. What's his name?
Devontae Blaine.
Devontae Blaine.
Devontae Blaine.
When
yeah.
I saw that,
was
I
on
said,
Short Circuits.
man, this dude is hilarious. That's when I started following more. But yeah, I was
And that's when I started really getting off into characters and sketches. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So did you always like impersonate people growing up?
pretty much.
Did you ever like like piss off your dad or anything like that? Where he was like,
Nah, but I would make my mom laugh all the time.
Okay.
That's how I knew it was working.
yeah,
Or I sounded like certain people. I would imitate Scarface voice, or like we was always watching Benny Hill, so I would imitate somebody from the UK. And I was a kid doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm talking about like 7, 8 years old. So my mom would be laughing. And then my mom is from Trinidad too. So at the
shout
time,
out to moms, man.
yeah, shout out to Ma Dukes. My mom's from Trinidad too, so we would I would imitate the Trinidadian voice too.
All right.
And make them laugh at that. So I knew that whatever I was doing was working.
Let's fast forward all the way to you and I meeting. Like I remember, like getting a DM from you. I was like, hold on, this looked like this says Affion Crockett, but I'm like, dog, this is crazy. Like he was talking about, like he was like, let's do the spoof.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was like, what? I was like, yeah, of course. And I was like, I want to do this parody, whatever. He was like, go ahead, fine, that's funny, like do it.
Right.
So like I had no idea that you even knew who I was. You know what I mean? And
That's crazy. Because you actually have more followers, more views. Like you're one of those viral people.
I never assumed though. Like
No, I get that. Because I
yeah.
always introduce myself to people.
Yeah, that's
like when
just
we out, and
how
they'll-
my mom-
I'll
like
say my
how I
name,
was
and they're like,
raised.
"I know who you are." I was like, I don't assume that you know who I am.
Bruh, I remember one time I kind of did that where somebody was like, hey man, you look familiar, man. So I was like, yeah, I used to play for the Bears, and they was like, nah,
Nah, that ain't it.
and I was like, oh, okay, you probably see me on Instagram. He was like, nah. I was like, I'm kind of like running out of things like Facebook. Like he was like,
No,
nah, like no social
you just
media.
look like his cousin.
Then he was like, Anthony Anderson. And then I was like, oh my gosh, man.
Do you really get mistaken for Anthony Anderson?
That time I did. I was like, what?
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So ever since then, I just be like, people be like, man, you look familiar. And I'd be like, well, where do you know? Like, I'm not about
Yeah,
to
I don't
go
volunteer
over,
nothing.
Like, yeah. Like, let's
Because they even
go
ask
over
sometimes,
it.
"Man, tell me some of the stuff you've been in. I know I know your face."
You was in that one movie, man.
Look, but if it's somebody old and black, I'm like, Soul Man. You know me from Soul Man.
Yo.
Hands down.
Chester.
Lester.
Lester, I'm sorry. Lester, dog. Oh my gosh.
Lester.
That joint is so fun. Tell everybody don't know about this story of Lester, how that came about, dog. Can you break down the story, dog?
That's Malcolm Lee.
Malcolm Lee.
Malcolm Lee, if you don't know who that is, that's I mean, he's Spike Lee's cousin, but he has his own thing. Like he did The Best Man and Undercover Brother. That's when he started out, and then just started bubbling. Girls Trip.
So
and,
y'all had a relationship. Like,
yeah,
you
I
knew
met
who he was.
him. Another situation where I'd never assume anything. Right, I went to an audition for a commercial, and he happened to be the director.
Okay.
So we get into the room, And I don't know if you ever auditioned for a commercial, but commercial auditions are some of the worst auditions you could ever go to. It's some of the most pretentious people behind the desk, the people that represent the product, the people that represent the ad agency, and the casting directors, right? All of them are in every commercial audition you've ever been to. So I get into this audition. I'm going just because I got to do it. I'm jumping through the hoops, right? I'm like, yeah, let me just go do it. And Malcolm is, he's around all, and he's like, he said, yo, man, I'm a big fan of you on Wild 'N Out. He said, you really be going in.
Yeah.
But he was saying it cool, like he was opening the door.
It wasn't
to
awkward.
Let me know. Yeah, exactly. He made it comfortable. And he was letting me know, like, nah, like, I want you to rock out. I want you to do what you do. That's why you're here. And so once I knew that he was a fan, I was like, oh, say less.
Yeah.
And so I ended up booking the commercial. And it was me, Royale, and two other actors that...
Shout out to Royale.
Yeah, shout out to Royale Watkins, my brother. And me and Malcolm just started this banter on set that we just kept laughing in between takes. Just coming up with these voices and these characters. And we was imitating... Because he's from New York, so we was imitating the extreme New York guy.
Yo, son.
You know what I mean?
Yo,
Word
son.
up, knowledge.
Yeah, man.
The
We
Wu-Tang.
jump on the 6.
Word
get
up.
to the 7.
You already
what
know,
I'm saying?
real
he,
deal.
He scuffed up my
Real.
butters.
Word
Scuffed
light,
up my
B.
butters, son.
No doubt,
Yo,
B.
yo.
Fresh volleys
wow.
painted, all that.
Mad scuffs on the Timbs, yo.
Word, scuff dilly, B. So we was doing that voice the whole time. And that turned into... He called me after the gym. He said, yo, man, I'm going to throw you in this Martin Lawrence movie I got cooking up. Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of when I started to get a few little offers without having to audition. And so he threw me in that. No, I did audition for that. Now that I remember. I did audition, but I knew that I had an in. And he was just like, yeah, just come through, whatever. But the guy I auditioned for was his producing partner. So once he saw me, it was like, all right, yeah, let's just hire him.
Yeah.
And then after we did that, I mean, first of all, I can't skate by Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins, because what that connected me to was Martin Lawrence, James Earl Jones. Like, I was surrounded by legends on that movie.
Yeah.
It's probably my first really big movie. Monique, Michael Clark Duncan, rest in peace. Mike Epps, Cedric. Like, it was the who's who.
The who's who.
Margaret
Heavy
Avery.
hitters.
Like, it was crazy. And we had a dinner before Joy Bryant was in it. We had a whole dinner with the cast. I'm the puppy. I'm just the young buck.
How
And
old were
so-
you at the time? In your 20s?
No, that was like probably mid 30s, because Roscoe Jenkins was like,
Oh man, I'm bad.
yeah,
with
like
the
probably
years.
mid-ish 30s.
Okay.
And so I'm sitting at this dinner table, bro, with all these legends. And so Martin, because Martin is very particular about who's around him and who's going to be in the scenes with him and stuff. And my scenes was directly with Martin.
Yeah.
So he was like, out of nowhere, everybody's talking and just showing gratitude. And like people like Joy Bryant, the younger ones at the table, we was showing love to like the James Earl Jones. So it was a love fest, whatever. But again, because I'm the one who's the least known at the table, Martin looks at me. He was like, hey, yo. He said, yo, what would Daquan say about this spread right here? And my character was the same character that me and Malcolm was doing on the set. And so I just started freestyling. It's like, yo, these joints is wild, like mediocre right now. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of waiting for the waiter to bring out the real bang bang. You know what I mean? Word up. And so I just started going off and everybody started laughing and he started laughing. And so from that goes to me and him in the scene together.
Yeah.
I made Martin break.
Nice.
Like a good break.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, I'm in character. I'm going off. And I see him go like this. He go. And then he stops. He was like, he said, all right, keep going. And I started going. And he broke a couple more times.
Yeah.
And so I found out later that his team, man, rest in peace, Big Sean. Big Sean pulled me aside and he said, man, we was kind of betting. He said, because we've seen younger actors or comedians get in scenes with Martin and they get scared, they get shook. And we was betting that you was going to do the same thing. And he was like, yo, the way you the way you showed up was kind of like Iverson Jordan.
Yeah.
Like you was like, nah, I'm here to play. So it was that Roscoe
That's
Jenkins
dope.
gave me that confidence to be able to stand on a platform with straight up goats and be able to rock out. So by the time Soul Man comes along with Samuel L. Jackson
Right.
and Bernie V. Mac,
Yeah. Rest
you know
in
what I'm
peace.
saying?
Yes.
Icons, legends, kings, all of the
So that prepared you for that moment.
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was a straight offer. Malcolm, once he saw what I did with Roscoe Jenkins, he was like, no, I'm gonna call the studio and make them give you an offer.
Yeah.
Like you gotta play this character.
Yeah.
And the character was a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, so all of the elements just kind of fell into it. It was a bigger role. And yeah, I mean, you saw the scenes. Like
Yeah.
I was I was fearless.
You had that rap. Like it wasn't like they wrote it for you, right? Like
It was written in paraphrased.
Okay.
But me being the proactive guy that I am, every job I ever get, I figure out how I could jump ahead of the gun.
Yeah.
So what I did was I went and produced the whole song. Like I said, they only had a verse in the script. I went and produced the whole song, restructured the rap in a way that, you know, fit the cadence of what I was going to do with it.
Yeah.
And so everything you hear in the movie is I produced the beat and wrote the rap. And I had already sent them the song before we even shot anything. I sent Malcolm and all the producers. So while they were in pre-production down in Shreveport, the whole office and the whole set, they already knew the song. Because I sent them the whole Lester the Court Jester song.
Man, that's dope, dog. So, I mean, let's fast forward from you first working with Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, he could have chose anybody to be a host of his reunion show. And so did that happen again where he was like, I don't want nobody to do it but Eighth?
Yeah. Again, he's very particular about who's around.
Right.
And who's going to steward his brand the right way. Mm-hmm. One thing he knows about me, he knows that I'm a fan. Like he came to my stand-up special taping. You know what I mean? He was in the crowd. So we have this mentorship type of relationship. You know what I'm saying? He's always a big homie to me. He's always checking in, making sure I'm good. And so we've had many conversations over the years. Side note, when we were on the set of Roscoe Jenkins, this is how dialed in Martin is. Big Sean, like I said, rest in peace. Big Sean was my homie. Big Sean is the guy that played Nipsey on the Martin show, the bartender.
Right. Yes.
He was this mad cool, and he was like, "Yo, I heard you rap." I was like, "Yeah." I gave him a mixtape at lunchtime. You know, on set, lunch is about an hour, right? 30 minutes to an hour. Gave him a mixtape I was doing back then. After lunch, they're all playing basketball out by Martin's trailer, and I walked by and Martin was like, "Yo, you spitting like that?" He said, "Yo, I heard my name in one of them raps." And I forgot that I had said one of his name in one of the raps at the end of the tape. So they listened to my whole joint at lunch and dissected every word of what I said in them raps. So from that point on, me and Martin just been rolling. So go back to the reunion thing. He already knows I'm a fan. He knows that I show him the utmost respect. So one thing he wasn't trying to have was somebody that was going to try to ask some type of, you know, dramatic question or some disrespectful or some clickbait kind of a question. Yeah. He know I'm not like that. So when my name came up, I got a relationship with all of them.
Yeah.
Tisha, Tashina, like we all been cool for years. And so when my name came up collectively, they all was like, yes, Eighth, that's the guy. He's our friend. We want him to do it.
Yeah. So what was that like? You know, just being on that set, like, cause I mean, it's an iconic set, dog. Like, we all grew up on Martin, dog, and that's like a dream, dog. Like you in the same setting, like with everybody, dog. That's dope, bro. I don't know if anybody's ever asked you about that, but you know,
no, they have. Look, dream come true, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, imagine your favorite TV shows throughout history, and if you were able to visit the set of each one, like to be able to visit the set of the Jeffersons or the In Living Color set. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was on the Martin living room set, bro.
That's crazy.
With them.
Yeah.
It wasn't no tour where I was just going through taking like I'm on the joint asking them questions about the show that
with
we
a
all
with a mauve suit. Was it mauve?
mauve.
Mauve. It wasn't pink. It was mauve.
It was mauve.
How would Jay-Z say it?
It's mauve. This is mauve. This ain't pink. I don't care what you think. It's mauve. Hey, I'm mad we never got to do a Jay-Z versus.
Oh man,
That would have been such a home run.
dude. I wouldn't have been able to. It was nothing I would be able to do. It would be like a DJ Cassidy type moment, dog. Like it would have been. I would have been
The whole
laughing.
hour I'd just been
I'd have
coasting.
been laughing, dog. It would have been. First, I don't know who I guess he had to go up against Nas. I guess
It would have been
it's
Nas.
the only person. And so I wouldn't have been worth a wood nickel, dog.
That's
I'd
so
be
funny.
cracking up, dog.
Yeah, Keith Sweat and DJ Cassidy was so hilarious.
Oh man, people still
Bobby
be talking
Brown.
about that, dog. When we
Drink
got-
responsibility. I miss verses, man.
Dog, that was a good time,
I miss
man.
verses.
That was a good time, man. Like that was fun, man.
What
Like,
tickled me the most was every time the verses would start, immediately our names would be tagged.
Yeah.
The whole verse. What Miss Spice about to do.
dog, that junkies be crazy. Like you looking at the comments and just seeing how many times you see Spice Adams and Affion Crockett on there.
Crazy.
Ridiculous, man.
Yeah, we tapped in. We made a name. We made a day for ourselves.
It's crazy, man. And like I said, like when I got the message from you, I was like, dang, like yeah, like let's do it. Then we talked, and then I was like, all right, because I really didn't use Instagram Live at the time then, so I was like, how this is gonna
None
work?
of us
And
did.
then they had the split screen now finally, and then I'm like, man, how this gonna work? And then we just got on and just did what we naturally do and just
It was
rocked
amazing to me because you have the comedic instincts that a lot of comedians don't even have. The art of improv is really the art of listening. It ain't when you're trying to get your next joke off. It's the art of listening and furthering the story.
Yeah.
And you did it naturally. So when I saw you was doing it, I was like, oh, we about to have a blast. Cause it was chill. You know what I'm saying? Like it was chill. I was like, oh, he know how to do it. Like really do it. And so we was able to take our moments, and when you wanted to act a fool, I fell back into the baby face, like, all right, cool, all right. I'll sip my tea, you sit there, wait for you to be done, and then I went with the ebbs and the flows of it all just worked, and
Dog, it was crazy because I ended up talking to Teddy Riley, and of course, like he saw it and they thought it was funny, whatever, da da da. But then I actually met Babyface,
yeah.
and I was surprised to see that he actually saw it too. He was like, "Yeah, you the one y'all was doing the Teddy Riley thing." You know, he's just real cool. I don't think he probably ever yelled in his life.
nah.
Like he was just, "Yeah, I saw you, big fella. That was funny, man. That was."
I sat next to Babyface on a plane one time. Guess what he did the whole flight?
What he did.
Wrote songs. I'm not even being funny. He literally, like, we spoke briefly because I didn't want to be that guy that was like, yo. And I was just like, man, big fan, da da da. And I gave him props on this particular song, and then I let him be. Even when the food came, he was like, nope. He had his laptop out, headphones on. He had his phone. I think he was writing in his phone, but he had the music going on his laptop. And he was writing songs the entire 4-hour trip. That's when I was just like, yo, you dudes, y'all be making so many excuses.
Dog. Man, let's talk about, like, you work with, I don't know. Like, I think the question is, who haven't you worked with? Like, you
Will
work
Smith.
with, you haven't worked with Will Smith?
He's next for me. He's on my wish list of I gotta work with Will
You've
Smith.
met him, but you just haven't
Yeah, I know
worked
Will.
with
I know him, met him, but we haven't worked together yet.
Charlie Mack, man. What's the deal, dog? Make it happen.
Oh no, we got something in the works. Well, a conversation that's about to happen. But
Is it like the Light Skin Coalition?
no.
Like, cause
Not I mean, that's
we'll talk
we
off.
don't need to really
We're
say
gonna talk
but
off.
that goes without saying, the light skin part. The light skin in shape part. You know what I mean?
Okay. That takes me out.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about
Completely.
that part.
Yeah, that takes me out completely. Okay.
But no, I'm very intentional about my words. So I've always said who I wanted to work with. And the top two was Will and Eddie. And I just did something with King Murphy,
Nice.
one of the greatest experiences. Like he's you already know, you seen the painting and like that's again one of those scenarios where I'm Iverson. I'm just like, all right, you are the GOAT. And I told him, I said, listen, you the GOAT. I showed him the painting on my wall. I said, yo, and he's very standoffish, very quiet.
Yeah.
But when he saw me get down, and he broke too. First take, we were just rehearsing for camera. He broke. And I was like,
Got him. Hit him with the crossover. Bang, bang.
I basically I got the validation from my hero, you know what I mean? My teacher.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, teacher broke? Oh, snap. We're going to have some fun. And he just kept giving me props. Every take, he was just fist bump. He was like,
Yo, that's the greatest, dog. That's the greatest. Yeah, man.
Eddie's the GOAT.
That's a great feeling, dog. That's what's
Yeah.
up.
There's
dog.
always them conversations of who we think is the GOAT and who.
Who on your Mount Rushmore?
There's nobody that has come close to what Eddie has done. Financially, yes. Kevin Hart is killing the game, right? Hands down. Like Kevin, that's my guy, and he's doing his thing. But when it comes to a talent level plus money, who's done it like Eddie? Even the ones we can name, they're fans of Eddie too.
Correct.
Martin Lawrence is a fan of Eddie. Like, we all are fans of Eddie. And I don't have no problem saying, like, there's always that conversation of, well, basketball player, if you're a basketball player or if you a rapper, you're supposed to say you the best.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah, your work speaks for itself.
You don't, but even with that, sometimes you're just not the best. Sometimes you may not be able to surpass what somebody else. It ain't no other martial artist that's going to be as great as Bruce Lee. They may be able to, you will never know. We can't go back to 1972 and pit their skills up against Bruce. But at the end of the day, I think, people rack their brain trying to be better than, like, just let him have his moment. Because when he was doing it, when Eddie was doing it, was in the early 80s. And he was a teenager making history.
That's crazy.
And has not stopped making history since then. So
Been on fire for a long time.
When you measure that, plus his level of talent in all his classic movies, ain't nobody touching Eddie Murphy. But anyway, my Mount Rushmore is Eddie, Martin, Chris Rock, George Carlin, and the Wayans family.
Yeah, you got to put them all.
It's all one category. Yeah, they're a brand.
They are Living Color, man.
They're a force.
Is the greatest. That was the greatest, man. They had a great run. I don't know how many seasons it was. 5.
I think 5.
It was. Needed to be more, man. It was a good time, man. I was just looking at and this wasn't in Living Color, but Hollywood Shuffle. When the scene when Jerry Curl that joint is classic, man.
Yeah, I grew up on all that. I went to the school of Eddie, Robert, Keenan, Martin.
So I don't think like you really told me like how did you get to comedy? Like how did that happen? Like
so basically I was a dancer.
Was it a dare?
No, I was a dancer, and at the time, being in North Carolina when there's not a lot of things to do like recreationally. Like it's not the industry, especially at that time, the industry was not in North Carolina. It was all New York or all LA. So in trying to figure out how am I going to break into show business, we was doing our thing locally, opening up shows and performing. And as a dancer, I was doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As part of a local rap group. But
oh, you were in a rap group.
Yeah. Rap and dance group.
Okay.
But when all of that, like the twins that I was dancing
what's the name
with,
of it?
Twin Flex.
Twin Flex?
Twin Flex.
Were y'all on
Apollo.
Soul Train?
No, we was on Apollo.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when the twins stopped dancing,
it was 3 of y'all, right?
yeah, It was me and some twins. So when they stopped dancing, it just kind of left me to try to figure out what my life was going to be, because I didn't want to stop entertainment. And rap was the music business was too treacherous for me to think about trying to get into it. And I didn't have anyone that, like a manager, that really knew that world. So along came Def Comedy Jam, which was very extremely hip hop. The dancers was on there. All the rappers would come by and be in the audience. I love comedy.
But you were just trying it out at the time.
What do you mean?
Like you were just trying it out because you got inspired by Def Comedy Jam, though, right?
Yeah, but when I wasn't just trying it out just to be, let me see. I was like, no, this is my way in.
Okay.
I knew. I said, all right, I'm not gonna be a backup dancer, not for the rest of my life. Like, and the biggest I can get at that time was dancing for Michael or Janet. Comedy was a little more tangible because there's comedy clubs in North Carolina, so I could figure it out in some kind of way. And Def Comedy Jam was blazing hot at the time, so I was like, man, if I could get on that, and if I could do comedy, and I thought about all the voices I was doing, making my mom laugh, I was like, oh. And I always shout my man out, Cool Bubba Ice. Cool Bubba Ice.
He used to have the hats and all. Yeah. I remember that.
Cool Bubba Ice went on Def Comedy Jam. He did all impressions in his set. It was no joke structure, no words, mainly just the impressions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that gave me the confidence to say, oh, I didn't know that was stand-up.
Yeah.
I didn't know that qualified as stand-up. So I was like, if that's what it is, let me put these voices to work and see if I could make a set out of that. And sure enough, a year later, I was on Def Comedy Jam.
How long was your set?
7 minutes.
7 minutes.
Yeah, the requirement was you got to have a hot 7 minutes, and you got to be able to do it multiple times. So you got to audition with that 7, then you got to do another showcase with that 7. But they got to time it for TV. So everybody had to have a hot Def Jam 7.
So doing stand-up comedy, 7 is a course different from 15. Like what's the difference? Like, because 7 minutes is a long time. Like if you I've done 7 minutes before, and it ain't no joke, especially if you don't know how to deal with a crowd or whatever, or if you're doing it at like an auction or something like that, and people are like off talking somewhere. If a stage is right here and the audience is like way back there, it's like a different type of vibe, and you got to understand how to rock different crowds. So like, what's the difference in? I know, of course, the time is, but the difference in a 7-minute set or in a 15-minute one.
I mean, the difference for TV, a 7-minute set is like, it's very calculated and has to be very precise, and you got to hit your marks.
Yeah,
you can't really mess up, start over. Like, you got to hit your marks, and you got to know what that rhythm is.
Yeah.
15, that's just casting the net wider, and you got to. I've been doing it since 94, right? Even though I took 15 years off, I never really lost the muscle. Like, so when I came back to it and I started getting into rhythm again, I was like, oh, I remember what this is. But you got to know how to read crowds. You got to know how to read the room.
Yeah.
You got to understand how every crowd is not a comedy conducive crowd. An auction is a horrible place to try to do comedy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got to know how to read the room.
Yeah, dude, we gotta go on tour. What's up with that? Are we people been asking?
We gotta rehearse.
People been asking. We haven't really talked about it.
We gotta put something together.
We haven't really talked about it.
Unless we, here's the thing. We haven't had our versus interaction in a while, right?
Yeah.
So when you look at a model like 85 South, these guys are used to being in the same room together. They started as a podcast, and they still have the podcast. But what I'm saying is they're accustomed to being in the room together and bouncing off of each other.
Yeah.
If we do a completely freestyle show, which we're highly capable of doing, we did it the whole 2 years of the pandemic. We still have to figure out what that looks like, and just have that banter. And it's really going to take, how much planning do we want to put into it? or do we just pick a couple small venues and just go on stage and just wing it?
Everybody got to let us know.
With the DJ.
Let us know.
No, we're not going to put it on. They're not going to let us know. We got to figure that out between us.
Don't let us know.
Yeah, don't let us know nothing. We're just going to feed you what we want to feed you.
So do you know how many movies you've been in?
No.
Is it in the 30s? It's got to be 40, 50 movies, man.
I don't think it's that many, but I got a lot of credits on IMDb.
So I'm watching Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And then just out of the blue, I see you in that joint. And I'm like, what hasn't H been in? Like, what you ain't been in, dog? I'm like, yeah,
Season
dog,
2,
this dude
buddy.
everywhere and nowhere at the same time, dog.
Yeah, man.
Like, what was that like?
Amazing. Larry David.
Did you work with JB Smooth in that?
Nah, I was in season 2. JB wasn't on it yet. Long time ago. I was on season 2. And, Larry is one of them genius savants of comedy.
Yeah.
And to just watch his process. And then afterwards, he walks up to me. He said, was that funny? You think that was funny? I said, you created Seinfeld, dog.
Right. And you asking me?
So it was great, man. Great. I'm thankful for all the opportunities that I've had to work with all these GOATs of the game. It just makes me the better comedian that I am today.
Speaking of working with GOATs, how did you end up working with Dr. Dre? Because that's when we first met, like face to face.
Yeah.
You came to pick me up and you was like, we're going to go over to Dre house. So I'm like, Dre? I'm thinking that's like one of your homeboys. Like, not Dr. Dre. I'm like, we were driving.
You didn't even know.
No, like you said, we're going to go over to Dre house. And I was like, oh, okay. You got a homeboy named Dre.
That's
like,
funny. I thought you do.
I'm just like, when we were driving, my ears kept popping because I'm like, dang, like we going high in the hill somewhere. And then like you see the houses that you riding by. I'm like, dog, where's we at, dog? Who is this dude,
I
Dre?
thought you knew we was going to Dre.
And when you said Dre, I was like,
Yeah.
you got a homeboy
First day
named
we
Dre.
met, I took him to Dr. Dre's crib.
That is wild. Bananas.
And I got to put the disclaimer out there because I have other friends that have been asking me to go by there. It's only because he knew who Spice Adams was. Because as soon as I said the name, he just started laughing. Laugh emojis. So the rest of y'all, if I say, yeah, I got Bobo with me, he going to be like, man, if you don't stay your ass out of my goddamn house. Yeah, but
Yo, that was crazy, man. I walked in, dog. He was like, this guy. And I was like, what? What do you mean? Like, that was wild to me.
Yeah, so shout out to my brother Focus, man. Focus is the one that
Three dots.
reconnected me and Dre. I first met Dre though on the commercial that me, him, and LeBron did.
Oh, okay. For
The Beats by yeah. So we did that commercial and Dre knocks on my trailer.
Yeah, y'all
When I
were in like
first-
the weight room or something like that. Yeah.
So he knocks on my trailer when I first get there, and he walks in saying, "My name is Lester, the court jester, or your other rap niggas done messed up."
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
I'm like, Dr. Dre from NWA is walking in my trailer, rapping lyrics I wrote for a character that I played. Look, man,
Crazy.
I've lived a life.
Yeah.
I've lived a whole
No
life.
question.
But I
That's
do
my
know
bad.
Prince. I did know. I
You met Prince. See what I'm saying?
Yo, listen. I had the Prince story I have is almost unbelievable.
Please.
So look,
Please share.
shout out to my brother Sky and my other brother Byron.
Shout out to Sky because y'all made this happen.
Yeah, so they're musicians, right? So they were working with an artist that Prince was working with, and we got invited to one of Prince's LA parties at his crib. Shout out also to his twins, the dancers, Maya and Nandy. So they were our people, right? Every time we would get invites, sometimes we get to the door and the list would be funny.
I ain't heard this story.
The twins always made sure we got into the party, right? So shout out to the twins. I get to the first time I get to a party, I'm in this joint. I feel way out of place. I'm in a hoodie. It was Wild 'N Out days, right? I'm in a hoodie, got my hat to the back. Because, that was my thing on Wild Now. I always had a baseball cap on or whatever. Jeans, sneakers. So I'm in Prince's crib.
In his crib.
You
Shaka Khan's drove a car there. You drove your car there and like valet.
Whipped up. Shaka Khan is performing in the living room with his band. It's different people just sprinkled around. Sheila E. and da. Dog, I'm literally standing in the back of the room up against the wall because I'm trying to
just see everything. Yeah.
Not trying to see everything. I'm just trying to be out of people's way. I just feel like I'm not worthy to be in this place where
you got all these people here and me.
Yeah. And Shaka Khan performing barefooted, like the iconic Shaka Khan in Prince's house, the legendary Prince. I'm standing up against the wall. And I'm just kind of looking around nervously. Out of the peripheral of my right eye, I see purple, just a blur of purple, just a little speck of purple.
Some type of figure.
And he walks up to me. He extends his hand. He says, "I've seen you on TV. You're really good." And he shakes my hand, but shake like with a pound, like he'd shake it and like, you know what I mean? And then he do that little Prince walk off. He had on his heels, everything, right? The boots. I'm bugging out because the thing
what did he say to you again? How did he say it?
I've seen you on TV. You're really good. And I said, dude, you know who you are, man? Thank you. You know who you are, bro? Oh. And he kind of giggled and walked off, right? And that was my interaction with Prince. Cut to a couple months later, he's doing a residency at the Roosevelt in Hollywood. Unorthodox. It's a hotel, so for him to be there, it's just like he's a true musician. He just picks these venues and he just goes and plays. So I remember this night. He was walking. He had just finished performing. Everybody is in this joint. It's packed. He's wearing all white. And the white is glowing. Wherever he moved with his entourage,
it was an aura.
Aura, and everybody knew, and everybody was trying to be in his way.
Yeah.
So he walking, me, Sky, and Byron, my homies, we're standing there, and we're just chopping up with the twins. We're all just kicking it. He's walking by. We see the whole crowd just kind of moving. He's walking by, and then he stops. He sees us. He sees me through the crowd. He parts the crowd and walks over to me, shakes my hand again. He says, "Thanks for coming. Let me know if you guys need anything." And then he Prince knew me. So I'm going to just say this. I'm going to look in all the cameras. Prince knew who I was. So any of you influencers, all you people who think y'all the shit, that always be trying to front on me, I don't care, okay? I don't care what you think of me, because Prince was a fan of mine.
Talk your talk.
And I have receipts. I have witnesses. They were there.
Talk your talk.
They seen it.
Not a lot of people can have a story like that. That is crazy.
Turns out he was a big fan of Wild 'N Out because of Cat Williams. So he knew exactly who I was. It wasn't just fluff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Prince.
What was it like working with Cat?
Dope.
Yeah.
Them early Wild 'N Out years, man, was like the X-Men. Like
it was classics, man.
It was like you got all these geniuses from different. And I know when you cut the edit together, it may look like some people are maybe have an edge or funnier. Everybody on Wild 'N Out, first 2-3 seasons was comedy snipers. Mm-hmm. Like legit. We had some great times on set, man. But yeah, Cat is a G, man. We all had our own flavor, our own vibe, and and we're all still here doing our thing.
I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man. Man, take your shoes off.
I'm in the crib.